Are our children safe in school? So the answer to that question seems to be an emphatic no. If the news coming out of Bangalore and the images from Kakinada in East Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh are anything to go by. Good evening, you are with Up South and I am T.S. Sudhir. 24 hours after the arrest of the skating instructor in Bangalore in connection with the Bangalore school rape case, Bangalore continues to simmer. In fact, the Bangalore Police Commissioner Raghavendra Aradkar has been transferred and M.N. Reddy will be the new Bangalore Commissioner. In fact, questions are now being asked about whether there was any background check done on this skating instructor Mustafa before he was recruited, because another school has come out and said that in December 2011 he was asked to leave the school for gross misconduct. Rohini Swami and Ratnika Sharma have the details.
Rising rage against rape of a 6-year-old in Bangalore. The anger mounting with each passing day. 24 hours after police zeroed in on Mustafa, also known as Munna, there came another startling revelation. The predator was spotted but still allowed to get away. Headlines today accessed his termination letter from another top Bangalore school. The sacking happened way back in 2011. But Dean's Academy did not report the matter to the cops and tried to insulate itself by sacking Mustafa. And this is what Mustafa was charged with by Dean's. As per its own principle, he was sacked for touching girls, that too after 3 warnings.
We have done some check about his background from some respectable people, and they have confirmed that there were some allegations against him that he used to show the video or photographs which were not in good taste to children.
Dean's is a clear violation of the law for not flagging up the matter, as reporting on matters of child sexual abuses is mandatory under the Act. The schools cannot seek exemption under any pretext.
I do not know what the earlier schools did, what kind of a thing is that. They should be told to the other people that, this is not somebody who you can hire because the person is a predator. It's a shame, our system with children, we are playing with children, we are just destroying lives of young girls.
And that's not all. The school where the 6-year-old was raped is guilty of not running the basic background checks. Soon after he was sacked from his previous school, Mustafa was employed by another elite school. He was given free access to young defenseless children, even as the school continued to make parents believe that their kids were safe away from home. With Rohini Swami in Bangalore, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Okay. We can now go across to Ratnika Sharma, who joins me from Bangalore, also Deputy Editor South, Rohini Swami on the phone line from Bangalore. Rohini, if I may come to you first, the Police Commissioner of Bangalore has been transferred, Raghavendra Aradkar. What really has gone wrong? Yesterday an arrest was shown of the skating instructor Mustafa. What really has gone wrong that they have transferred Raghavendra Aradkar and put M.N. Reddy in his place? Rohini Swami.
Well, there's tremendous pressure on the government, especially the Home Department, on maintaining the law and order in the state. And what is being observed and what was briefed also to the Home Minister was that since during Mr. Aradkar's term, there has been a lot of cases of crime that have increased. More importantly, we have been told that the transfer is also based on a law and order situation that took place in front of the school, especially in the Bangalore rape case. And since the whole issue was not handled in a proper manner, that is why the transfers have happened. Along with him, 2 other officers also have been transferred. But more importantly, it's the Home Department, the Home Minister, who's trying to make a point here saying, if you do not do your work properly, you will be shunted out of even the job of being a top cop. Now, yes, you are right by saying an arrest was shown yesterday, but that arrest was of what we were told is teamwork. But Mr. Aradkar also, they said that the reason for his shifting is also due to non-performance.
'Okay. Right. Rohini, stay on with us. Ratnika, you visited the Dean's Academy where this person called Mustafa was working as a skating instructor till December 2011 when he was summarily dismissed for gross misconduct. Now, the fact that no background checks were done by this particular school before he was recruited obviously shows a very shocking lapse. Now, what is the previous school telling you, and what are the reactions coming from the parents who obviously must be shocked that such a person, clearly a case of perversion, was working along with their children?
Definitely, when I spoke to the principal of the Dean's School, she said she did not find it necessary to complain because according to the school's policy, anybody touching, any teacher touching the kid would be given 3 times warning and then they would be asked to quit, which is what happened. So the school on their part followed the policy. However, the parents are definitely shocked because the only question that they've been asking since yesterday is that why did Wibgyor also did not do a background check, because if this person has a criminal past, it should have been pointed out and they should have never employed him in the first place. I'm joined here with concerned Bangaloreans. Let's ask them what is your reaction of the fact that there's no background check done in schools?
Frankly, I'm horrified. I would have thought that is a given. You know, background checks have to be done because you don't know who you're dealing with. And I think more importantly, in a school you have little kids. Parents trust the school to look after their children. So we're sending our children to schools to study and we assume that they are in a protected environment. So I'm horrified that no background checks are being done. And I wonder how many other schools are doing the same thing, not doing background checks.
Exactly. I'm also joined by Mark, who's also a concerned Bangalorean, and what are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I have 3 children, and they also my youngest one, of course, goes to school, and I'm pretty horrified as to why background checks are not done. I mean, for simple things like I've been running around the entire day today just to get a new telephone connection into my new house, and they will only activate your telephone connection after they come and do a check at your house. I mean, I find this quite absurd. I mean, we're talking about precious little lives over here. And if you can't do a background check for the teachers that you're hiring, or even if you are using that excuse, and I call it an excuse, that, oh, he wasn't the teacher, but it was outsourced to some other job, that is absolutely absurd. I do not accept this. I absolutely do not accept this.
There you have it, Sudhir. The basic question again, why aren't background checks done? However, when I did ask the principal, she said that Mustafa himself was very good at his job. He was very passionate. He was really good with kids. He was good with football and skating, which is why the school also did not look at him with a very suspicious eye.
Right. Right. Ratnika, Rohini, if I may come to you now. Now, obviously, the Karnataka government cracking the whip. First, the Karnataka Education Department actually asking why their license should not be revoked, why it should not be re-recognized. They had written to the ICSE board, and now the transfer of the top cop of Bangalore. Is the Karnataka government sending the message that they're going to come heavy on whoever is guilty in this case, and perhaps it could be even the school management?
Police department.
I think we are not having Rohini Swami on the phone line there. If I may go to Dr. Jayanti Datta, a clinical psychologist. Ma'am, you have seen this case of the Bangalore rape and the next story that will be going in from Kakinada. Now, something like this obviously shows that our children not really very safe when they are sent to school. What kind of a civil society environment does it really show as far as Indian education system is concerned?
They are hidden wolves, in the humanoid forms. I was there on one of the channels the very first day when it happened, and I said I was there for 1 hour, Speak Out India, and I said, please de-recognize such, at least give the warning, de-recognition of these schools, de-affiliate them. And 12 days it took them to even get to the bottom of the thing. And this kind of pedophile, how dare can you have a pedophile in your school premises? And they are notoriously very, very, very clever. When they approach the kids, they are so palatable, they're so affectionate, they are so, kind of a pro-social behavior they demonstrate. In fact,
the desire is to sexually exploit the child. And if you don't come out with a definite strong punishment, these are the well-recognized schools from a state like Bangalore, where you have all elitist people, and then they were threatening that, the parents were asked to give in writing something. I said, please approach the HRD minister to take some cognizance of these kind of things. And when a pedophile is there, only first time you have caught him, definitely he must have exploited other kids also within the premises. He's been there for last 3 years or so. That's what I gathered. And how can police say that we will not take cognizance of this? They were also refusing to formally report.
Absolutely, Dr. Jayanti. Pretty shocking the manner in which the school management has reacted to this entire story. Now for an absolutely shocking story from Kakinada, and we would advise viewer discretion here. 3 visually impaired students of a blind school called the Greenfield Residential School in Kakinada were brutally caned by the administrative in charge of the school in Kakinada, even while the principal actually aided and abetted the administrative in charge. And if you can hear those shots out there, they are actually saying, "Don't beat me, I will not do it again." And this was apparently because they did not do their braille lessons properly. And in fact, when the news broke, the parents also of the children went and thrashed the duo before they were taken by the police. And in fact, we can tell you now that they are being questioned by the police as we speak. And all the 62 blind students in that school are likely to be moved to a government-run organization. Dr. Jayanti, now the other horrific case that we are getting in from Kakinada. 3 visually impaired students being beaten by their principal and administrative in charge, also visually impaired. Surely there is something grossly wrong with the way we actually are treating our children. There is really lack of sensitivity and lack of perhaps training as far as handling these children are concerned.
Absolutely right. And they have no fear of whatsoever. See, they are brutalizing the future generation of our country. And mind you, don't forget, these children are visually impaired. So can you understand the pathos they've been subjected to? And what I learned is they wanted to see their parents, meet their parents, and that's what the principal was very annoyed about. And you see, the practice is so well formed. You could see another man, pushing these children in front of him so that they could be caned. And so brutally they were caned. You really should come out with absolute zero tolerance for these kind of things, where you are...
we need zero tolerance for... Absolutely, Dr. Jayanti, we need zero tolerance for these kind of brutal incidents. In fact, we can now play for you Chandrababu Naidu, the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, has reacted to this horrific incident taking place in Kakinada in East Godavari district. Let's listen in.
In Kakinada, in blind school.
No, I am feeling very bad about it. A very bad incident has happened. We are taking action on that.
Right. In fact, I can now go across to Pratibha Raman, who joins me from Hyderabad. She has been tracking the story. Pratibha, an incident like this, you have been speaking to different child rights activists. What are they telling you? What cognizance can the district administration and the Child Rights Commission in Andhra Pradesh take in a matter like this?
Well, Sudhir, as of now, not just the child rights activists, but then people from all over the state are completely shocked, because here is a case where the teacher himself is visually impaired, the manager of the institution, and he should actually be aware of the kind of trauma that the child would undergo, considering that he himself is visually impaired. And that is what beats the child rights activists here with me, Ms. Mamta. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining. I'm sure you're absolutely appalled by the fact that here is a blind person who's beating another blind child.
I know. Actually, the person should have more empathy towards the children, because he is also blind. And he's been there in the same institution since very long time. And the trust people say that he is the best correspondent or the teacher available. But I think that this is a very heinous crime he has done to, and he's been arrested. Commission has immediately given directions to the district collector and also the superintendent of police there. So he's been arrested now.
Ma'am, 3 incidents in a span of 1 week that we see here, not just in Telangana but even in Andhra. So do you think that the Child Rights Commission is taking enough stringent action to make sure, because clearly these people aren't really scared of the law?
thing is, we have seen in very big schools in city and also in a smaller town like Kakinada. See, things have been happening since long time, but now they are they're coming into light. I think even the Child Rights Commission, from the Commission also, we are giving very stringent directions to the concerned collectors or police or DEOs. Problem is that there is no redressal actually. We have seen in other cases where the Commission got almost, now we have on hand about 9 cases. In most of the cases, the parents themselves are backing out, not even coming forward to give a written complaint. And also always the dilution of the case happens and the parents get compromised with the managements of the schools. That is also hampering
So basically there is lack of awareness, lack of sensitization of these teachers, lack of trained teachers, which are all adding up to more such incidents being reported on a daily basis. Sudhir, back to you.
Right, stay on with us, Pratibha. Ratika, if I may come to you, there was the Karnataka government which had said that it will ask the ICSE board to de-recognize this particular school in Bangalore for not doing enough background checks for the kind of incident that had taken place inside the school premises during working hours. Now, what has been the update on it? Because if we go by the transfer of the top cop, obviously the Karnataka government wants to show that it means business.
So far there has been no update from the ICSE side. However, the school was also given a show cause notice to come back with a response within 7 days, but so far the school has not bothered to respond at all. The management has not come out and spoken to parents, and they've been absolutely mum, which is also another cause of concern for parents, because they've been demanding since day one for the management to come out and speak to them. And let me also tell you, the parents have decided to meet the management on Tuesday. However, they've still not gotten through Mr. Rustam to fix up an appointment. But let me also go across to people here and ask.
Ratika, just a minute, if I may go across to Rohini and just ask her whether this kind of an arrest of the skating instructor will satisfy the parents, will
There's absolute outrage amongst parents. Even now at this point of time, what we know, Sudhir, is that the parents are saying that they want to know, while yes, they have shown the arrest, the Bangalore police have shown the arrest, but more importantly, they say they need a proper investigation done and the school management to come in front of the parents and tell them, these are the security measures that have been put in place. This is how the child will be taken care of, and never again will an incident of this sort happen. They are not satisfied, and worse still is, as of now, they're also shocked with the fact that the Bangalore Police Commissioner has been shunted out. They feel that possibly then, if there's such shoddy investigation, then what will happen to the rest of their children, to the children and the rest of the schools? What we know also now is the Karnataka government will be very shortly issuing an order saying that it is mandatory for background checks of every single employee who joins a school, or for that matter any firm.
Rohini Swami, for the moment, many thanks for joining us. These are pictures of angry protesters in Bangalore saying the school is also culpable. We will get back to our top story on the other side of a short break. Stay with us.